What's up, guys? This is Kyle from Wax Museum, back with my 16th and final edition of my NBA 75th Anniversary Team Collection. And you know what? It's only fitting that I start today with a guy whose silhouette is part of the 75th Anniversary logo, and that's Jerry West. Now, let's just get this ring thing out of the way, because I know that's where a lot of people want to go to when they think about Jerry West. Yes, he only won one ring as a player. But he went to the finals 9 times. So yes, he went 1-8 in the finals. But this man could only do so much. In fact, he's the only losing player to win a finals MVP, which he did in 1969. But Jerry West averaged 27 points and 6.7 assists for his career. He averaged over 30 points 4 different times. And, you know, even though he was a good outside shooter, this was before there was a three-point line. So everyone kind of had their mind set on this idea that, hey, Jerry's going to score from the outside for the Lakers. Well, Elgin's going to score from the inside. You know, realistically, each player could do both. And on top of that, Jerry was voted 5 times all defensive. So, you know, I don't think we should forget that. Since his playing days, he's had a lot of success as an executive. And you can tell the man really loves the game. He's 84 years old. He could step away at any moment, but he's still out there sharing his knowledge and his love of the game. Now, I wish I had a 61 Fleer rookie of Jerry West, but I don't. So I'm going to start with the 69 tops. And it's still hard for me to wrap my head around the fact that we didn't have a set between 61 and 69. Well, I mean, we didn't have a licensed set. We had some other, you know, food-related sets like cons and other things, but we didn't have a top set between those years. So here's his 69 tops. That's the earliest card I have of Jerry West. In addition to the 69 tops, I've got these cards, which were from the 72 set, my signed 72 set. So we'll start off with just this base version of the card. You can see all kind of different variations of the signature, but he's been pretty consistent over the years. Got this one here, and then we've got this one here. Jerry was pretty good through the mail for a while. I don't think I ever got him through the mail. But, you know, I was able to purchase from people that did. There was a stint there where he signed for a long time. One thing I was able to get before things got crazy, which I think I bought this for $65 years ago. And at the time, that seemed kind of high. But, you know, when you look at it now, you just don't see a lot of Upper Deck Jerry West patches out there. Not a lot of Upper Deck black ones either. The foil, everything on this looks great. It's fitting, you know, this set had the logo man in it. It's fitting that he is the logo man. And I like that the piece of material actually looks old in there compared to some relics where they just don't look all that old. So that's my Jerry West stuff. I'll be adding more in the future. Hopefully be adding that rookie someday. It's just, you know, you can only grab so much so soon here. Next up, though, we've got Russell Westbrook, which is someone you guys have all watched. You know his work. You know about the triple-doubles. You know about the MVP. He took a lot of blame this season for a really bad Lakers team. Was he part of the problem? Absolutely. But there were a lot of issues there. So I just want to say here that I've enjoyed watching Russ in the past. I'm not a huge fan of this current version, but I hope he reinvents himself. And he's at a bit of a turning point, because if he doesn't do it now, I don't think it's going to happen. Same thing with James Harden. If they don't do it now, it's not going to happen. But either way, he deserves to be on this list. He's had an amazing career, and I'm still rooting for him. So a couple cards that I have. Some of you might look at this and think, you know, hey, wasn't Westbrook a rookie in 2008? And you would be correct. So this is considered an XRC. Which they used to do in Topps Finest. There would be redemptions for the next year's rookies. So like 07, 08, Topps had redemptions for the 08, 09 rookies. And this is a card that I got raw it was in like a $30 lot. And I didn't, you know, I was expecting a 9 or whatever. I sent it in and got a 10. So I thought that was pretty cool. And I decided to keep it because I don't have a lot of nice Russ stuff. I pulled an auto back out of 2009 season update and foolishly sold it. I don't know why. I have no clue why I did that. He doesn't sign a lot. That was a stupid mistake of my past, and maybe I'll get one back someday. I do have this nice jumbo patch from the early days of Panini Absolute. This was actually from Panini's first year, 2009, 2010. So really happy with that. And that one is numbered, yeah, that one's numbered to 25. Now if you saw something like that, if they even did them, they'd probably be numbered out of 5. So that was a pretty cool pickup that I'm happy to have for Russ. Okay, next up then we've got another point guard. If you think about it, that's 3 in a row. You got 3 point guards in a row here. Some of you probably only know Lenny Wilkens as a coach, but he was a pretty good player too. He was a 9-time All-Star. He led the league in assists in 1970. He was on some pretty good Hawks teams too, and then later on in his career, he was a player coach for 4 seasons, 3 with the Sonics and then 1 with the Blazers. Now, that was pretty common for the early days of the NBA, but it was starting to phase out by the 70s, so it was a bit of an anomaly then. In fact, the only other player coach after Wilkins was Dave Cowens in the 78-79 seasons, and he coached the Celtics for 68 games, and I'll tell you what, they didn't win very many of them. But back to Lenny Wilkens. In addition to being a great player and a great coach, though, he's always been super friendly to collectors. So I've written to him multiple times over the years, and he's always responded. So I'm going to show you some of the, mainly, that's all I have of him. He doesn't really have relics out there that I have ever seen. So this is a 61 Fleer that I sent in the last year. As you can see, he signed it beautifully. It's a good-looking card to begin with. It's in really good condition. So happy to add that one. And then, of course, we've got the 69 Topps. And then had him sign a couple cards here for my 72 Topps collection. One cool thing about this is that he signed it with his, he's got Hall of Fame on there 3 different times. So he, not very many people have done that. He made it, I believe, as a player, as a coach, and then as a member of the Dream Team. So that's pretty cool that he's been inducted 3 times, and he included all 3 of those years on there. And unfortunately, the best card I had at the time had some damage at the bottom, so that's what I sent, and I have to deal with that. It is what it is. I've got this trio here. I wish I would have, put the money in to complete this a while ago when Wes was doing more signings and Archibald was hitting the mail for free. This would have been a pretty easy one to complete if you're going to complete a trio. I know there are some out there that I haven't picked up because the ink was different colors. Well, now I probably wouldn't be as picky now because I don't have one that has all 3 of them. And then I had to send these 2 cards at one point, mainly this one because I remember him, Lenny Wilkens to me was a coach because that's when I started watching the NBA was around this time. And I liked that there were coaches cards, so I had to send that one, got that one signed, and then also got this old Cavaliers coach signed. So like I said, Lenny has always been super friendly to collectors over the years, so I'm very appreciative of that. All right, next up, we're going to break our streak of point guards. We've got the human highlight reel, Dominique Wilkins. Now, Dominique was left off the original 50 when that list came out in 1996, and I was worried he might be left off again, but they made the right decision this time. This is a guy that averaged 25 and 7 for his career. He led the league in scoring with over 30 points per game in the 85-86 season. And then he averaged 18.2 as a 37-year-old. So he's got some longevity, right, you could say. And even that last year with the Spurs, I feel like that's pretty impressive to do that as a 37-year-old, even though they were injury-plagued. You'll remember that was the team where David Robinson got hurt. A couple other guys got hurt, and they ended up with the number 1 pick. But the thing that impresses me the most about Neek, though, is the fact that he ruptured his Achilles in 1992, rehabbed that injury, and then came back and had a stretch of seasons where he averaged 29.9, 26, 24.4, and 29.1. And we think of Dominique as a great dunker, and by all means he was, but if that's all you remember him for, or if that's all you know him for, you're missing out, because Dominique was an absolute force. I say that, and I don't have a lot to represent that. I've gotten his autograph in person 3 or 4 times. I couldn't find any of those at the moment. I'm sure I'll find them right after I shoot this video. I had a nice patch of his. I traded it away at some point. Don't ask me why. I think I must have been getting some Pacers card in return that I really wanted. So the only thing I really have left for Dominique is this red mini autograph. I believe this came out of a rip card. And they're not numbered. They're not physically numbered, but I believe the reds are out of 10. At least that's what I've heard floating around. So that's a pretty rare card. And at one point I had it for sale in my show inventory, and there were no bites. Nobody was interested at all. So I decided, you know what, that's a rare card. I'm not going to give that away. I need some Dominique stuff, so I'm just going to keep it. So that's what I've done. All right, last but not least, not just for this video, but for the whole thing here, is James Worthy, also known as Big Game James. And James Worthy is a 3-time NBA champ whose accomplishments sometimes get downplayed because he played alongside great players, Magic Johnson, Kareem, and so on. Well, guess what? James Worthy won Finals MVP in 1988. He led the league in scoring that series in 4 out of 7 games, including a monster 36.16 rebound game in Game 7. Hence the name Big Game James. Now, outside of that game, though, he hovered around 20 points per game in his prime. He probably could have racked up some more individual accolades elsewhere, but the Lakers were a really good spot for him. And I know at one point their starting lineup had 4 guys that were 6'9" or taller. Imagine trying to match up with that. Not something that sounds very enjoyable at all. I don't have a lot for James Worthy. I do have his Fleer rookie, although, people will tell you, hey, you should probably go and grab the star rookie, which, there's an argument out there on what's the true rookie. I'm not going to enter that argument here. I'm just going to say, hey, a lot of people recognize this as the rookie, and I've got one. You can see Kareem there, also in the shot. And then I love my flawless patches. When I saw this one show up, I pounced on it. I'm pretty sure I just hit the bin on this one when I saw it, because that's just a huge chunk. Looks like the number 4 would be my guess, would be the top of the 4. It's an old looking patch, good looking patch, big patch window. So that was one that I absolutely had to have when I saw that. All right, there you have it. I want to thank you guys that have watched this series. Thank you for tuning in. I posted a poll on my YouTube page a couple weeks ago asking if people would want to see clips from this series again. And when I say that, I mean, just specific players. Like, hey, here's a clip of just Wilt cards. Here's just Curry cards. So it'd be just the cards and not me talking. So most people voted yes. So expect to see some of those to start showing up again. In the meantime, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff if you haven't done so already. Be on the lookout for new episodes of the audio podcast every Thursday. And as always, and for the last time for this series, thanks for watching.